Everyone to Elite Speakers Hiding Behind the Pages. I am your host, Tracy Brooks, the go-getter, life coach, instructional coach, and we have Chikeitha Owens LPC, speaker, author, and we are here presenting Hiding Behind the Pages 40 Women Interview Series. And we just want to thank y'all for joining in with us today, because today we have the lovely Annette Johnson, who will be here to share why she's been hiding behind the pages. So without further ado, Miss Owens, could you please introduce our lovely guest?
Yes, I would be more than grateful to. So yes, we have Miss Annette Johnson, who is here with us today. And Annette, we thank you for joining us and wanting to take part in Hiding Behind the Pages. And so Miss Annette is a 46-year-old African-American woman. She has been married for almost 17 years now to Mr. Sergeant Benny Johnson. And she has 4 children, 2 who are deceased, and she has 2 beautiful daughters, Destiny and Madison. Destiny is 22 and Madison is 14. Miss Annette, she graduated from Longview High School in 1991. Woohoo! And she attended Tyler Junior College and also Louisiana State University in Shreveport, majoring in criminal justice. So that is awesome. And her minor was in political science. She also received her medical assistant degree from High Tech Institute. She worked at EMC as she did that for a while, and then in 2019 she started her consulting business, RB's Consulting, which is where she assists and does administrative assistance with mortgage inquiries, and she also educates clients and resources available to their specific needs. So that is something else that Miss Annette does. And so we're just going to step in and move forward, and you'll get to hear some awesome testimony that Miss Annette is going to share with us on today.
Wow. So welcome, Miss Annette. Thank you so much
again
for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So just a little bit about what I've seen or what I've learned about you is that you have been on the speaker's platform since a child. Am I correct?
Yes, I have.
So you started speaking when?
Let's just say, like most of us, I started speaking in church. When you have that grandparent that's over the choir, over the usher board, over BTU, you kind of get pushed into things.
Yeah.
Which led me to speaking in church, and which led me in school speaking in student council, National Honor Society. So I didn't know what life was preparing me for at that time.
Awesome. So you didn't know that God back then as a child and grandmama's prayers was pushing you to the microphone, to the podium, when you didn't even realize that you was going to have to share and live. This is almost like a new life for you. I mean, an old life that you get to reinvent yourself. You didn't know you was going to be able to be up on that podium telling this story that you're telling today.
No, I did not. If you would have asked me would I want to tell this particular story, I would have chosen no. But this is a story that God gave me. So, yes.
Wow.
Okay. And so, Annette, can you tell us just a little bit about, I know we shared that you had 2 deceased children. Can you share with our audience just a little bit about what that was like for you and what that experience was like?
Sure. I had a son. His name was Javario. I actually had him at 18, my senior year of high school, which leads me to another path with teenage pregnancy. My son, unfortunately, was born with multiple birth defects. He was born with cerebral palsy. He was born with Hirschsprung's disease, which is where the nerve ending in the small intestine doesn't quite grow right. He also had seizures, which made me have to feed him through his stomach. He had multiple surgeries throughout his lifespan, 8 to account for. And this particular time, my son had pneumonia. It was something brief. It was supposed to be a brief stay. He was actually about to get discharged from the hospital. This wasn't the normal stay, weeks at a time. This was just a 3 to 4 day stay. He did pass away of pneumonia. His heart actually stopped because of the fluid around his heart. And this led to a series of events in life that was unexpected. I was in my senior year of college, about to take my exams, and I had to make a choice. Do I take my exams, or do I go back to school and take my exams, or do I face this head on, losing this child? And he actually passed away December 22nd. He would have been 5 years old, January the 10th.
So sorry to hear that.
Yes, so sorry to hear that.
And what year was that he passed away?
1996.
1996. Wow. Well, I know he's watching right now, smiling at Mom, going, Mom, thank you for sharing my story, because you're going to help a lot of mothers out there that don't know what to do. And if they have to, God forbid, they have to endure what you had to endure, they got a shoulder to lean on.
Yes.
So we thank you. And we encourage you to continue to share that, because that's trying just to even hear. So I can just understand how it was for you to be able to have to start sharing that story.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. So fast forward, you lose your child, you're going through these terms of events that you didn't know. What happens next?
What happens next is I push forward, and I actually moved from Longview to Dallas, where I pursued my career. And in 97, I had Destiny, which at a time, Destiny brought, that's my 22-year-old. I say that she brought life back into me, because when you tend to lose a child, you go into a dark place. And it's a place that, unless someone has experienced it, it's indescribable. And I always tell Destiny, she's my child that made me live again. She allowed me to celebrate Christmas again. She allowed me to not walk in fear. She allowed me to just open my heart back up. So enjoy motherhood, normalcy. Yes.
And I love her name.
She's destined to be here.
Yes.
She's actually a 10-week preemie.
Oh, wow. So she's also a miracle baby.
Yes, she is.
Wow.
Yes,
well, it's good to know that she's strong and here and being loved on
very
by Mom,
healthy,
and brought Mom out that hunch, that funk she was in, and that's something that we don't realize, and we take for granted when they're small. We miss those things when they get older. And the fact that you didn't get to have it with your first child, and being so young and not really knowing how to cope, how to deal with those terms of events, being that you're in school, you're in college, you're pushing forward and you're trying to make this happen, then you have to make that decision, and to have such a blessing come along and just give you that life again, that to me is like God saying, you know what, here you go. Let me give you another blessing, because all hope is not lost.
Exactly.
Yes. Chikeitha, do you have any questions for Annette?
I know that from this whole experience that that Annette definitely in her heart needed to share her story. She needed to get out her story, and she has so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but she has so much more in her. Annette is that person that will walk in a room and look 100 like a queen when everything around her has broken down. But people don't see that, because she does not let what she is going through show through her physical. because she has tapped into that spiritual side. And so it's just so beautiful, you know, just in through knowing her that, you know, where she's at, because like her story, like definitely, I just want her to share, like out of everything that she is going to be sharing, because this is just the beginning. So y'all tune in. This is just the beginning. And I just want her to share like her whole purpose in doing what she's doing, and why she wants people to know her story, and why it's important that others know that your pain matters. And so I just wanted her to share, you know, just what her purpose is, and wanting to step up and share.
I believe that I know within my heart, I don't know, many are probably wondering this, or has wanted this. What is my purpose? What is the reason why I had to go through some of the things I had to go through? Sometimes we go through trials, not for ourselves, but to help someone else. And that's what I had to come in terms with. I thought that when I lost my first son, that would be, you know, the devastation that I had to encounter, that I had to walk through, and everything was going to be peaches and cream. Not so.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, unfortunately, I lost my father in 2006, unexpected, with my my daughter, Madison. She was 7 months. And so that was a blow, a grief process that literally, without my faith in God, I would not actually be here to tell that story. I had to pull every ounce within me on God. And, you know, and he got me through it, which led me to, when I was 40 years old in 2013. I had just gotten my mother released from the hospital, and I found out I was pregnant at 40 with my son Donovan, which was a big surprise to my husband and I. But we were so excited. We had girls, and I have a stepdaughter as well. And so to have a little boy, I thought that would be a new outlook. I'm like, God bless me with another son. I'll be able to raise him. And, you know, not that he would replace Javario, but I would have a second opportunity to be able to raise a son.
Yes.
During that pregnancy, there was a lot of high risk, of course, because of my age, but also because of some health challenges that I had. Unfortunately, I carried the baby to 25 weeks and I delivered early. My husband, actually, we lost a baby. His name was Donovan Michael. He lived 2 hours. He actually passed away in my husband's arms.
Sorry to hear that.
This was, I can't even explain what this did for myself, did to me, my children, as well as my husband. Because my husband, unfortunately, was previously married, and he had lost his spouse prior to me. So losing another child, it was very devastating to us. And at that point, I had to really go and seek God and say, okay, my faith is being tested. My faith is being tried. I need you to show me what is my purpose. I don't understand this, God. I don't understand why I have been chosen to go through so much pain, for me to love so hard. And then I began to just really go into a dark place. And it was my support system. It was my belief in God. It was my tenacity to pull up out of the pit in which I felt like I was going into. And I started saying, you know, depression, it's real. Depression is real.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of times we don't want to acknowledge that. A lot of times, especially being the stigma as being African American, being brought up in church, you're not having enough faith. You're not believing God. When the fact is that God created mental health professions. And so I had to come to a point to realize that I have to get resources. I have to be a resource to someone else, because some of the things that I felt, even having the challenges of taking care of a handicapped child, that oftentimes, and I don't want to disclose too much, but oftentimes we focus on the actual child or we focus on the person that we're giving the caregiving to, and the caregiver goes lacking. The emotions are set aside, and we forget about them. And they need encouragement too, because without their encouragement and without their strength, they can't be effective in caregiving. So that's one of my purposes. I believe my purpose is to encourage the mother or the father or the grandparent who has experienced the loss of a child or a grandchild, and that needs that encouragement, that needs that will to get up and realize that even though it hurts, you'll get through it. You'll learn, and you do have that support. And hopefully provide resources, some of the things that I had to walk through, some of the emotions that I felt that I couldn't talk to my friends, I couldn't talk to my family, because they felt that it was too over the top, or they felt they didn't understand. And I tell people all the time, if you have not walked those shoes, you don't understand. You can only imagine, but you don't understand. And I had I had been really seeking God in an area. And after we lost our son, Donovan, I was at the doctor for a checkup. And my doctor had a nurse that was filling in for the actual nurse that he normally has. She knew nothing about me. She just had my chart. I did not disclose to her that I had just lost our son, you know. And she came in, she checked my vitals, she went out. She came back in 5 minutes later and she said, Miss Johnson, she said, I don't know you. She said, but as I was walking, God told me to tell you that he gives his greatest battles to his greatest warriors.
Wow. Wow.
And
I have say that again.
Stuck. He gives his greatest battles to his greatest warriors.
That was
and so my purpose is to be that warrior, to help you fight through your battles.
Yes. Wow. That is amazing.
Yes.
Ooh, he gives his greatest battles to his greatest warriors. That's amazing. And when she gave you that word, I'm sure that sparked that light that was starting to dim out because of all the adversity. That I'm sure that ignited your flame once again.
It did, because I was stuck in this, why me? Why me? And when she said that, something came into me, just came under me and said, why not you?
That's right.
Everyone, he hasn't chosen everyone to handle the battles that he's given.
Yep.
I love it. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. You almost had me over here in tears, Annette. And first of all, I just want to say my condolences to you and all that you've had to endure. And I also want to say I congratulate you for being able to share such a trying story that most will, find, hardship in sharing. So I just thank you. And I can't wait to see what God has in store for you, for your obedience and being able to step up and step out and help someone else through your pain, because there is healing in sharing your pain. Believe it or not, there's somebody out there right now, like you have that desire. There is someone waiting to hear your testimony so that they know they can make it through. And God has something for them on the other side of their pain. Yes.
He does.
Wow, that's amazing. So I know you said you'd like to have some resources and you'd like to give advice to those who are going through the same situation. And I'd just like to ask you, do you have one specific, if there was one thing that you noticed that you overcame, or that one tip that you could give that parent that's dealing with a loss, period, what is that one nugget you could leave with that parent?
Don't be afraid to share your feelings. Don't be afraid to allow your feelings to show. You are a parent before you're expected to be anything else. And at that point, if you do not allow yourself to grieve in a healthy way, it will manifest in ways that you would not want them to manifest.
Amazing.
So true.
Yes. That's beautiful.
so
That's
true.
beautiful. And I'm sure our listeners out there are really, really interested in knowing all of the facets of your story. And there is more to her fabulous story,
Yeah.
y'all. We just want y'all to know this is just the tip of the iceberg. This woman
Yes.
is so phenomenal. And like what Chikeitha says, she walks around, she looks like a queen no matter what she goes through. And that's just the God in her. That is that light
Yes.
that shines that
Yes.
anyone
God
can
be the
see.
glory.
I felt the light when you came on, and I just thank you so much for your time, for your love, for your energy, for being a part of the Lead Speakers Hiding Behind the Pages 40 Women interview series. And I just, I'm excited for you, Annette.
Thank you.
I want to know, I know you're passionate to help those who are dealing with sickness and death.
Mhm.
And, being that someone who just went through the same situation and you're there, being a catalyst per se, is there a way that these people that are listening in right now, anyone that's listening out there in the world that's tuning in to us today, is there a way that they can reach out to you to get some of those resources and tools, or a way that you can communicate with them?
Yes, it is. I have a website, which is RB Consulting 312 at weebly.com. I'll be more than happy to offer my number. I'm just hands-on, whatever they need to pray to. I have actually have an organization that I have partnered with. It's called Hope Dawning, and they help grieving mothers. And so for the second year, I have actually had an opportunity through Lake Point Church to attend some of those seminars and to be a part of their organization. So that has helped a lot, and I'll be more than happy to share their information as well. I am also the co-leader of Ladies of Honor, which is a mentoring group, a ministry that I have been assigned to Kane Middle School in Rockwall ISD. And that's where we mentor young ladies and try to groom them and pour into their lives for integrity, leadership. So I'm always open, just a
Awesome.
phone call away.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot going on in the community, and
Yes.
your energy is definitely needed, especially working with young women. And that was one of the things that I wanted to touch on. I know you mentioned that you were a teenage mom, not to go so far back into your journey, but you're a teenage mom. So is that what encouraged you to work with the young ladies at the church?
And actually, I work with the young ladies at the church, but I also work with the young ladies at the school.
Okay.
And what encouraged me is I'm the only child. I can't say that I had a childhood that was awful or I had awful parents, because I didn't. I actually had great parents, loving parents. And I say all of that to say that it doesn't matter if you came from a not so well family, or you didn't have that attention, or you came from a upstanding background. It's the decisions that you make. I happen to have made the decision to go forth into sexual activity, as a teenager at 18. A lot of times, and what I'm finding in this generation, not to stereotype, is that they don't consider the ramifications of one choice.
Yep.
And that one choice is, they think pregnancy, but there's a lot of different branches into pregnancy. If you would have told me that I went to all of my appointments, I received prenatal care, I had the love and support of my family, but during delivery, my son had his umbilical cord wrapped around him, which caused him to have the cerebral palsy, which caused him to have the multiple birth defects.
Wow.
So what I try to teach the girls, even when I'm speaking with my children friends, is that your one choice have ramifications behind it, and that you need to look at the different branches, because you can't always assume that things are going to go smoothly. And if they don't, what is plan B? And so it all falls down back to me. It's staying in the will of God, which is what I bring it to. When we do things out of the order and out of the will of God, there's things that may and could pop up. So if we stay focused on his word and we follow his word,
yes,
you know, so those are the things that I try to point out to the young ladies that I mentor.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Well, I just want to share and say, Annette, I'm just so excited for what God has ahead for you, because I know that that we've been pulling on this for a long time to get your pages to the stages, and her pages will be published soon. So you guys look out for it, because we're going to take her page not only to the stage, but you'll be seeing her book soon.
All right.
Excited.
We just appreciate you so much, and thank you for joining us again. Where can our listeners find you on Facebook? Do you have a public page yet?
I don't have a public page, but I'm working on that. But my Facebook page is Annette Johnson.
All right. All right. Well, we will be sure to get that out there to the listening audience. As they view, they will be able to reach you. And we thank you so much. Chikeitha, do you have any closing words?
I do not. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for what God is doing. I just want to tell her again, congratulations, and just hoping that share this with your family, your friends, so that they can tune in and hear a little bit about what you have to share in your testimony, because it's beautiful. You have a beautiful testimony. And
thank you. To God be the glory.
Yes, because our misery is our ministry.
Yes.
Your ministry, and that's the purpose behind your pain, that God wants you to go forward to be able to help families that are experiencing the same thing. So
that's
Amen.
Right. Well, with that being said, thank you so much, Annette.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining the 40 Women interview series with elite speakers, Hiding Behind the Pages.
Yes.
You guys be sure to tune in with us next time when we give our next interview, and we'll see you soon with elite speakers. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.